Christian Clark, Harrison Wind here for BSN Denver. Following a tough one for the Nuggets tonight, they fall to Minnesota 112-104. Christian, just their third loss at home this year. They've been great at Pepsi Center, and they were tonight for a half and maybe three quarters, but just didn't have it in the fourth. 21 turnovers for the Nuggets tonight. That was a number that really stuck out.
Yeah, that was the story of the game to me. Afterward, Michael Malone called the turnover issues a recurring nightmare for this team. Nikola Jokic had 10 of them. And it's just really hard to win basketball games when you're turning it over 20-plus times. The Nuggets have turned it over 20 or more times in a game 7 times this year, and they're 1-6 in those games.
Michael Malone said after the game that a lot of the turnovers were bad passes. Some of them were from guys passing up open shots. Not something that's been a huge issue with this team this year, but guys like Jokic, Jamal Murray, Wilson Chandler, a lot of guys passed up open shots tonight, kind of uncharacteristic.
Yeah, Jokic had a really weird night to me. He was passive in a lot of stretches and then aggressive in the third quarter. He was trying to fit it into those windows, and we normally see him make those passes, and it just wasn't working out for him tonight.
Yeah, an odd night for Jokic overall. He scored well, 22 points, but the 10 turnovers, just a weird, bizarre night from him. Jamal Murray paced this team on offense, really kept them in it on that end of the floor. 30 points for him. His defense, though, kind of left a bit to be desired. Jeff Teague was able to get into the paint with ease tonight.
Murray was fantastic offensively. He had a step back early in the fourth quarter, and we saw him bring back that bow and arrow celebration. I think that's a pretty good indication that he's starting to feel pretty good about himself again. But yeah, like you said, he really struggled defensively. Teague cooked him in the third quarter. He got to the rim a lot, and Malone pointed that out afterwards.
Trey Lyles was solid off the bench again tonight, 15 points for him. He had a big first half. Will Barton struggled for a second consecutive game. Just 3 of 9 from him, only 6 points in both of his last 2 games.
Yeah, Will Barton was a minus 28 tonight. I mean, that's just a brutal mark. I think, that was like the worst by 10 points on the Nuggets team. So, 2 bad games in a row from him. The Nuggets really could use him get going on this road trip.
Will Barton, I did see he hurt himself in the first quarter, just a minute or two after he came into the game. Called for a sub for a second. Torrey Craig went to the scorer's table, and I think he waved him off, but you could tell Barton was just not himself tonight. Mason Plumlee, I thought, had a good defensive night. Michael Malone gave him some props after the game, too.
Yeah, Plumlee played another good game, and it was kind of weird because Malone started Plumlee and Jokic alongside each other. Before the game, I think a lot of people were kind of worried about that matchup, but it actually worked out really well. The Nuggets got out to a big lead in the first quarter. That lineup got them a lead again in the third quarter, and it was great.
Yeah, Denver loses at home this year for the first time where they've led at halftime and the first time where they've led after 3 quarters as well. But they fall tonight again, just the third time they've lost here at Pepsi Center this season. They're on the road now, a tough back-to-back in Portland on Friday, in Golden State on Saturday. But Denver falls here at Pepsi Center 112-104 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's all for us. For Christian Clark, I'm Harrison Wind, BSN Denver.